Okay, let's unpack this today. I'm your host, and sitting across from me is our resident expert, ready to dive into some really fascinating technical literature.
I am very ready. Thanks for having me.
So, to kick off this deep dive, I have a hypothetical for you. If I told you that I wanted to spray an acid,
Oh, boy.
right, spray an acid, specifically something called hypochlorous acid, directly onto your eyelids to help with your eye health,
Yeah.
what's your immediate reaction? Because mine is absolute terror.
It does sound completely counterintuitive, doesn't it? I mean, the word acid usually summons images of chemistry labs, bubbling beaker.
Wilting skin.
Exactly. It triggers that primal danger signal. But here is where the literature gets really fascinating. Your body is actually already producing this exact acid right now.
Wait, really?
Yes. In fact, if you didn't have this specific acid inside you, your immune system would be in big trouble.
So you're telling me I'm walking around with acid in my veins?
In a manner of speaking. Yeah. And that's our mission for today's deep dive. We've been combing through the technical guides and literature, specifically looking at data regarding era organics and the treatment of a condition called blepharitis.
Right, which we'll define in a minute.
Exactly. But the overarching goal today is to understand how this natural molecule, hypochlorous acid or HOCl, is fundamentally changing the way we treat chronic eye issues. We are moving away from what I call the scorched earth policy.
Ah, like heavy antibiotics.
Yeah, antibiotics and harsh chemicals. And instead, we're looking at mimicking the body's own immune system.
Mimicking the immune system. I mean, I like the sound of that. It sounds highly sophisticated. But seriously, the word acid is still hanging in the air. You have to reassure me on the safety aspect before we go any further. I need to know I'm not going to blind myself.
I can totally do that. It all comes down to a specific type of white blood cell called a neutrophil. You might remember these from high school biology.
Vaguely. They're the first responders, right?
You got it. When your body detects an invader, say a bacteria, a virus, even a fungus, these neutrophils rush to the site of the infection.
Go.
They engulf the pathogen, effectively eating it, and then they generate a burst of hypochlorous acid inside themselves to kill it. It's literally called the oxidative burst.
Wow.
It is nature's oldest disinfectant. And because your body produces it naturally, your healthy cells have evolved mechanisms to neutralize it instantly. It even has a pH that is balanced perfectly to your natural tears.
Okay, let me make sure I'm tracking this. It's lethal to the bugs, but because we evolved with it, it's totally gentle on us.
That is the perfect summary right there. It's not some synthetic chemical designed in a factory to burn things. It's a biological tool your body already knows how to handle.
So what makes this stuff so special compared to what's already under my bathroom sink? I mean, we have soap, we have rubbing alcohol, we have prescription drops. Why is the medical literature buzzing about HOCl specifically?
It actually comes down to physics, specifically electrical charge. This is the big aha moment for understanding why this works where so many other things fail.
Okay, hit me with the physics. I'm ready.
Most bacteria and viruses have a negative electrical charge on their cell walls. Now, think about your most common disinfectants, like bleach,
Okay.
which is hypochlorite. Those also carry a negative charge.
Right, so basic magnet physics.
Yeah.
Like repels like.
Precisely. If you try to kill a negatively charged bacteria with a negatively charged chemical, they repel each other. You need a very high concentration to force that chemical through the wall.
Which I'm guessing means chemical burns or severe irritation for the patient.
Exactly. It's like trying to push two north poles of a magnet together. You have to really force it. But hypochlorous acid is unique. It carries a neutral charge.
Neutral, so no charge at all.
Right, which allows it to act like a Trojan horse.
A Trojan horse, how so?
Well, because it's neutral, the bacteria doesn't repel it. It doesn't even see it coming. The molecule slides right through the cell wall like a ghost.
Wow.
And once it is inside, it disrupts the bacteria's DNA and proteins, stopping replication dead in its tracks. And it does this incredibly fast. The literature shows antimicrobial action occurring within seconds of contact.
That is incredible. So it just walks right through the front door because the bacteria doesn't have its shields up.
Yep. And because it's physically destroying the machinery, oxidizing the DNA and proteins, rather than just tricking the metabolism, the bacteria can't really learn to resist it.
Ah, because it's structural damage.
Exactly. You can't evolve resistance to being disintegrated.
Fair point. Okay, so we have this ninja molecule. It's fast, it's neutral, and it's deadly to bugs.
Mm-hmm.
But what exactly are we fighting here? You mentioned blepharitis earlier. I've heard the term, but let's define it properly for everyone listening. What is actually going on with our eyes?
Blepharitis is essentially inflammation of the eyelids. It is incredibly common, and it causes those red, gritty, crusty eyes that so many people just live with, thinking it's just bad allergies or tired eyes. It generally comes in two main flavors. You have anterior blepharitis, which affects the outer skin where your eyelash is actually attached.
That's where you see the crust, right? Like eye dandruff.
Exactly. Dandruff-like scales right on the base of the lashes. And then you have posterior blepharitis.
Which I assume is the inner part.
Right, the inner edge of the lid that actually touches the eyeball. This is crucial because this is where the meibomian glands live.
The what glands?
Meibomian. They are tiny glands that secrete oil to keep your tears from evaporating.
Ah, the oil glands. You know, I feel like we talk about hydration and artificial tears all the time, but not nearly enough about the oil.
Oil is everything in eye health. If those glands get clogged with thickened oil and debris, your tears evaporate in seconds, and you end up with severe dry eye.
So what is causing all this clogging and crusting in the first place? Is it just dirt? Like, did I not wash my face well enough?
It's rarely just dirt. It's usually a biological conspiracy. There are three main culprits we need to talk about from the sources. First, bacteria, specifically Staphylococcus aureus. Staph?
Right. Staph bacteria are everywhere on our skin, but on the eyelid, they can be particularly nasty. They produce toxins in these enzymes called lipases.
Lipases. Well, the root lipid suggests fat, so is it fat dissolving?
Exactly. These enzymes break down the lipids in your tears, which irritates the eye surface. That's the burning sensation you feel. But they also change the consistency of the oil inside your glands.
Oh, so?
They turn it from a smooth, clear olive oil consistency into something more like toothpaste or thick butter.
Ugh. Okay, that's a visceral image. So bacterial enzymes are turning my nice eye oil into toothpaste. That definitely explains the clogging.
And it gets worse. These bacteria also form a biofilm. Imagine a sticky, protective layer of bacteria, sugar, and protein that just coats the eyelid margins.
Like plaque on your teeth.
Very similar. It's like a shield or a bunker. Standard cleaning often can't penetrate it at all. It protects the bacteria from antibiotics and even from your own immune cells. Okay, so we have toothpaste oil and a sticky bacterial force field. You said there were three culprits.
Mm-hmm.
We've got staph and biofilm. What is the third one?
This is the one that usually gets a strong reaction. It's Demodex.
Demodex. What is that?
Microscopic mites.
Mites? Like bugs. Living on my eyelids.
Living inside the eyelash follicles, they are basically microscopic arachnids.
Oh my God.
Now, they are actually present on most people in very small numbers, but in patients with blepharitis, they can drastically overpopulate. They feast on the dead skin and the oil.
Okay, I am sufficiently horrified. Tiny spiders having a feast in my eyelashes.
I know, it's a lot. They cause what's called cylindrical dandruff. It's a very specific type of crust that wraps around the base of the lash like a little sleeve. If an eye doctor sees that, it's almost guaranteed to be a mite infestation.
Gross.
And these mites carry bacteria on their bodies, which triggers even more inflammation.
I want them gone. Immediately. Honestly, this explains why we need something so much stronger than just splashing water on our face.
Mm-hmm.
But why haven't the traditional treatments worked? I feel like if I went to a doctor 5 or 10 years ago, they'd just hand me an antibiotic ointment.
And for a long time, that was the absolute standard of care. But let's look at the drawbacks outlined in the literature. Antibiotics are the scorched earth approach we mentioned.
Right.
They kill the infection, sure, but if you use them long-term for a chronic condition like blepharitis, you risk antibiotic resistance.
Yeah.
The bacteria just evolve. Plus, antibiotics don't really dissolve that biofilm we talked about. They just bounce off the shield.
That makes sense. What about steroids? I know people who use steroid drops for their red eyes constantly.
Steroids are incredibly powerful anti-inflammatories. They will reduce redness very effectively, but they carry scary long-term risks.
Like
Increased eye pressure, which can lead to glaucoma, and they can significantly accelerate the formation of cataracts. You really don't want to be on steroids forever just to manage dry eye.
Definitely not. And then there's the classic home remedy I always hear about. Just use baby shampoo on a washcloth.
Ah, yes. The baby shampoo myth.
Is it really a myth? People swear by it.
It's a very well-intentioned mistake. The logic was always, well, it's gentle enough for a baby's eyes, so it won't hurt mine. But think about what shampoo is. It's a surfactant. It is explicitly designed to strip grease and oil.
Wait, And we just established that we are desperately trying to save the oil in our eye glands.
Exactly. If you have dry, irritated eyes because your oil glands are failing or clogged, the last thing you want to do is put a grease-stripping soap directly on them.
Because it just strips away the natural oils we need.
Yes. It causes more dryness and irritation. It essentially defeats the entire purpose of treating dry eye.
Wow, it's a total catch-22. The soap might clean the lid, but it ruins the tear film in the process.
Exactly. And this brings us back to the HOCl advantage. Hypochlorous acid is non-irritating. It does not strip the oil. In fact, it specifically neutralizes those bacterial enzymes, the lipases that are thickening the oil in the first place.
So it actually helps the oil flow naturally again.
Yes, it essentially turns the toothpaste back into olive oil.
That is a massive distinction. It restores the function rather than just stripping everything away and hoping for the best.
And crucially, it breaks down that sticky biofilm that regular cleaners and baby shampoo can't touch. It kills the bacteria, it kills the mites. Demodex are highly sensitive to it, and it cleans the debris, all without damaging that super delicate eyelid tissue.
It sounds like the Goldilocks solution. Not too harsh, but not too weak.
That is a perfect way to put it, and because there is no resistance buildup, it's suitable for chronic long-term use. You can use it every single day as part of your hygiene routine, just like brushing your teeth.
Okay, let's get highly practical here. I'm completely sold on the why, but I need to know the how. I've seen HOCl sprays, I've seen drops. Are they interchangeable?
This is a huge point of confusion for patients, so let's clarify this based on the guides. Drops, usually artificial tears or medication, go directly in the eye. They are for lubrication or treating the actual cornea. Hypochlorous acid, for this purpose, is formulated as a spray, and it acts as a lid hygiene product. It goes on the eyelid.
So to be clear, I am not prying my eye open and spraying this directly onto my eyeball like I'm macing myself.
No, absolutely not. Please do not do that. While it likely wouldn't cause permanent damage because it's so safe, it's just not the intended use. The protocol in the Air Organics literature is very specific. There's a 5-step process for using HOCl correctly.
Okay, walk me through the 5 steps. I want to make sure you listeners get this exactly right.
Step 1, wash your hands. It sounds obvious, but you really don't want to add more dirt and outside bacteria to the delicate area you're trying to clean.
Makes sense. Step 2.
Step 2, close your eyes firmly.
Nice, shut tight. Got it.
This is the crucial safety step. The spray is meant for the skin and the lashes. Step 3, spray the solution generously onto the closed eyelids or onto a clean cotton pad. You want to cover the entire lash line to ensure the liquid reaches the bacteria and the mites that are hiding deep in those follicles.
So saturation is key here. Don't just mist it lightly.
Exactly. You want it wet. Step 4, wipe away the debris. If you have that crusting or the cylindrical dandruff we talked about, you need some mechanical action to actually remove it. The spray loosens it up, but the gentle wipe is what gets rid of it.
Okay. And step 5.
Step 5 is interesting and totally counterintuitive for most people. Leave it on. Do not rinse it off.
Wait, don't rinse. That feels wrong. Usually with any facial cleanser, you wash it off immediately.
Remember, it's a natural, unstable molecule. It breaks down into basic just salt water naturally. You want it to stay there and continue its antimicrobial action for as long as possible. It dries on its own. Rinsing it off with tap water would just stop it from working.
Oh, that makes total sense. It's almost like a leave-in conditioner, but for killing eye mites.
Exactly.
How often should we be doing this routine?
The standard clinical recommendation is 1 to 2 times daily. For basic maintenance, just keeping the everyday bacteria in check once a day is usually fine. But if you have a severe case, or if you are dealing with a heavy Demodex infestation or a painful sty, you'd want to bump that up to twice a day, morning and night.
What if I use other eye drops? Like if I have severe dry eye and I use a prescription drop or artificial tears, can I use this spray too?
Yes. Compatibility is generally very good, but there is a strict rule of thumb. You need to wait 5 to 10 minutes between them.
Why the wait? Does it react badly?
You apply the HOCl spray, let it do its work and dry completely, and then put in your drops. If you put the drops in immediately, you might literally wash the acid away before it has finished killing the bacteria. Or, because HOCl is highly reactive, it could potentially interact with the active medication in your drops. Just give it a buffer window.
Okay, 5 to 10 minutes buffer. Good to know. Now, I want to pivot to some myth busting. Because whenever there is a so-called miracle product, people start claiming it fixes absolutely everything.
Oh, inevitably.
I've heard people say this spray helps with eye bags, the puffy, tired look we all get. Is there any truth to that at all?
This is where we really need to manage expectations based on the science. HOCl is not a cosmetic facelift in a bottle. It does not fix eye bags caused by natural aging or fat pads moving or your genetics. It cannot tighten sagging skin or redistribute fat.
So if I have bags just because I'm getting older, spraying acid on them will help.
Correct. However, if your puffiness is caused by active infection or inflammation from blepharitis, if your lids are swollen because they are angry and red and full of mites, then yes, reducing that swelling by killing the bugs will make your eyes look significantly better. But it is fundamentally a health treatment, not a vanity product.
That's a really good distinction.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the logistics of getting this stuff. If this is just something my body naturally makes and it breaks down into salt water, can I just make it in my kitchen? Like mix some salt and water in a battery and save myself $30.
Please do not try to make it in your kitchen.
I figured you'd say that.
You will likely just make a form of bleach, which will absolutely burn your eyes. Stability is the single biggest challenge with hypochlorous acid. In its natural state, inside your white blood cells, it breaks down in a fraction of a second. It does its job and vanishes.
So getting it to stay as acid in a plastic bottle on a shelf is the really hard part.
Exactly. Commercial formulations, like the ones from Era Organics discussed in our sources, use highly specific stabilization technology. They have to balance the pH perfectly. They also have to use specialized packaging, usually opaque bottles or airless pumps, to prevent air and UV light from degrading the molecule back into salt water.
So that's why it costs real money. You aren't really paying for the raw ingredients. You're paying for the laboratory science that keeps it stable until you need it.
Right. The cost is usually around $15 to $40 depending on the size, which directly reflects that stabilization technology. And you also need to look closely at the concentration.
And more, better. You know we love extra strength, everything.
Not here. There is a very strict Goldilocks zone for concentration. The effective safe range is usually 0.01% to 0.02%.
It's tiny.
It is. If you go higher, say 0.05 or 0.1%, it can be highly irritating to the delicate eyelid skin and cause severe stinging. But if you go lower than 0.01, it's just ineffective against the bacteria. You really need that specific clinically formulated concentration.
It's impressive how precise this needs to be. It's completely natural, but it's high-tech natural.
It is. It's leveraging raw biology with pharmaceutical precision.
Are there side effects? I mean, even natural things can cause allergic reactions. What should a new user expect the very first time they spray this on their face?
The most common report isn't really a side effect, but a sensory experience. It has a distinct scent. It smells a bit like pool water or faint chlorine.
Which totally makes sense, given the chloro in hypochlorous.
Exactly. It's not an added artificial fragrance, it's just the smell of the molecule itself oxidizing. Now, physically, some users might feel a brief stinging or see a little temporary redness, especially if their eyelid skin is already broken or very raw from constant rubbing and scratching.
So a little sting is totally normal.
A brief sting, yes. It's exactly like putting salt water on a paper cut. However, if irritation persists for 2 or 3 days, or if it gets progressively worse, you should absolutely stop using it and consult an eye doctor. True allergies are rare, but they can happen.
So who is the absolute ideal candidate for this? We mentioned people with blepharitis, but who else should be reaching for this bottle every morning?
It is a fantastic preventative option for contact lens wearers.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have thought of that. Why is that?
Think about it. Contact lens wearers are at a much higher risk for bacterial accumulation on the eyelids. You're putting your fingers near your eye and placing a piece of plastic on your cornea every single day. It traps bacteria underneath it.
Oh, yeah. That makes total sense.
The HOCl spray provides a really quick way to maintain daily lid hygiene without having to take the lenses out, though again, spray the closed eyelid, not the lens directly. It significantly helps reduce the chance of developing contact lens-related eye infections.
So it's pure preventative maintenance.
Exactly. Also, dry eye sufferers, specifically the evaporative type of dry eye we discussed earlier.
Because it unclogs those meibomian oil glands.
Precisely. If you get the healthy oil flowing again, the tears stop evaporating so fast. You are treating the actual root cause of the dry eye, not just masking the symptom with artificial tears all day.
You know, this has been a real eye-opener, pun, fully intended.
I love a good pun.
I came into this completely skeptical about the acid. I was terrified of the microscopic mites. And now I'm looking at my own eyelid hygiene in a completely different way.
It really forces us to rethink how we approach cleanliness in general. For decades, the medical logic was just kill it with strong chemicals, scrub it, bleach it, use harsh soap. But the eye is a delicate, highly complex ecosystem.
It's microbiome management, really.
It is. We want to remove the toxic overgrowth of staph. We want to control the Demodex mite population, but we absolutely want to preserve the natural oils and the structural integrity of the skin.
So, to summarize what we've learned from the sources today for everyone listening, the absolute best way to fight eye bacteria isn't a harsh antibiotic drop or a scrubbing face soap. It's a clever molecule borrowed directly from our own immune system. It cleans that nasty biofilm, it kills the mites goodbye, mites, and it unclogs the oil glands, all without damaging the tissue itself.
That is the core takeaway. It treats the root biological cause, the bacterial overgrowth, and those destructive enzymes, rather than just masking the symptoms or causing collateral tissue damage.
And for you, the listener, the big practical takeaway is this. If you have gritty red eyes or crusty lashes when you wake up, the problem might be on your eyelid, not actually in your eye. And scrubbing your eyes with regular face wash or baby shampoo might actually be making it worse by stripping the exact oils you desperately need.
Exactly. You want to support the eye's natural defenses, not strip them away. Throw away the baby shampoo.
Throw away the baby shampoo. I want to leave everyone with one final thought. We spent all this time talking about this microscopic ecosystem living right now on our eyelashes. Mites, bacteria, enzymes. It's a literal jungle in there.
It really is.
And our bodies naturally produce this specific acid to keep that jungle in check. It really makes me wonder how many other chronic annoying issues in our bodies or just simple imbalances where we've been using the completely wrong tools. Our modern daily hygiene habits, the fancy scented soaps, the harsh makeup removers, the chemical preservatives, actually fighting against our own biology?
That is the big question. Sometimes the most advanced medical solution we can find is simply giving the body more of what it already uses to heal itself.
A fascinating place to end. Thanks for walking us through the chemistry and the biology today.
My pleasure. Anytime.
And thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Go wash your hands, check your eyelids for dandruff, and maybe rethink that fear of acid. We'll see you next time.